Welcome to Office Hours with Arrow, a LinkedIn Live event hosted by Arrow leaders who care about what senior living looks like. I'm your host and producer, Rachel Sheehan, and today I have with me Rob, Nicole, and Annie. I'm so excited to get into this, but first, I would love for you each to introduce yourselves. So I'm going to start with Rob. Can you tell us what you do for Arrow and how long you've been with Arrow?
Sure. So I'm Rob. I am the Vice President of Compliance with Arrow. I've been in this role roughly 5-6 years. I've worked with Arrow though almost 10. So in July, I will have been working with Arrow for 10 years now in different roles, operationally, executive director, but most recently in the compliance role.
I did not know it has been 10 years. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. There's a pin for that for everybody listening. But okay, we're going to move on. Nicole, tell us who you are and how long you've been with Arrow.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Rozsa. I am the Managing Director of Marketing, and I've been with Arrow for almost 7 years. It'll be 7 years in November, which is crazy and hard to believe. And I started out in sales. So I started out at one of our new developments in Ohio, and then, helped open the community, and then transitioned over into marketing in 2021.
Yay, fun fact, Nicole and I are on the same team, and we just love working together. So very fun. Annie, how about you?
Hello, I am Annie. I am an engagement specialist, so I support a variety of the sales teams. I have been with Arrow. It'll be 5 years in September. Started off in a community in Ohio and have been an engagement specialist with the call center now for just over a year.
Very cool. A lot of longevity here. I love to hear it. Awesome. I'm excited to get into this topic. So today we're here to talk about where you live matters. And since I am not the expert in this, I'm going to ask Rob, can you just explain what is where you live matters and how do we use it?
Sure. I'm happy to do so. So I took notes. I have my notes. I didn't want to miss anything. I feel like this is such a great opportunity for all of our communities, our senior living communities across the country. But Where You Live Matters, it's a program that is really designed with the American Senior Housing Association, other known as ASHA, and it's a non-cost lead generation pilot. It is a pilot that ASHA has worked through developing, and they are working through different areas. So there was a pilot in Texas several months ago, and now we are doing a pilot in Ohio to see what type of leads we can generate for senior living. And some cool fun facts about it. So ASHA partnered with the Ohio Assisted Living Association to work through this pilot, and they're focusing in the Cleveland, Akron market right now. So currently, if you are in the Ohio market or anywhere, we want to make sure that you claim your listing, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But the pilot, the Texas market in Dallas. So I wrote down some numbers because that's my way to remember. But there were in this original pilot, there were just a little over 7,000 conversions. So that's people looking at senior living. They were able to connect with 147 different community listings. And from that, they were able to have a 30% conversion rate, which is nearly 1/3 of the consumers taking action. So 1/3 of the consumers looking into senior living were able to take action through this pilot, Where You Live Matters. And so we're looking to see how this can work in other markets. So Texas is obviously a different market than the Midwest, Ohio. So we are working through that now in the Ohio market.
So interesting. So can you tell me how this is different? How does this generate different leads than our normal, lead referral sources we've used?
Sure. So it definitely is a more personal connection directly with the community. So nowadays, we all know that everyone uses technology, the internet, their phones to find whatever they're looking for, if it's senior living or if it's where to go to dinner tonight. And so this allows an individual to really directly connect with the community and immediately start speaking to our team members, such as Annie or Nicole, that are on the sales and marketing side of the community. And it allows for the community to really get to know that individual. Senior living and moving into senior living is a big decision, just like buying a house or going on a big vacation. So it's something that you want to really take your time and have that direct connection with the individuals that you are working with.
Yeah. And then you mentioned like it's piloting in Ohio, but I know our other communities are on there as well. So what does that mean exactly?
So great question. That actually, you're able to verify your communities across the entire country. What we're doing with piloting in Ohio is we're looking at the specific data. So it allows us to track exactly where our leads are coming from, what they're looking for, and how they're directly connecting with the community or the senior living community that they're looking for. So it helps us get that information a little quicker. It also helps us just have that one-on-one connection with that individual. So we're able to see really see what leads are looking for in senior housing.
Very cool. And so I want to talk a little bit about why this matters. Obviously, Rob just explained it to us a little bit, but obviously one reason is lead generation, right? And so Annie, I would love for you to touch on that. Like, how does this platform attract more motivated prospects?
Yeah, so I'm probably going to piggyback off of Rob a little bit, but it essentially provides clear, unbiased education. And it's there to empower families to feel confident in their decisions. So it essentially attracts prospects who are more informed, intentional, and truly ready to take that next step.
Awesome. And so we kind of mentioned, but how is it different than those paid referrals?
So unlike the paid referral services, which can make it difficult to get that direct information, Where You Live Matters, it's mission driven. So it's unbiased resources that allow the families to explore options at their own pace. So without the pressure or that sales driven influence that you may typically have with those paid referral services.
Yeah. And at the process we're in, we're kind of just getting started with this, right? So what kind of leads are we receiving so far and what's the quality like there?
So the communities are definitely receiving higher quality leads because a lot of them are just more well-informed. They've taken the time to educate themselves before reaching out to the communities to request that information. So typically we're seeing them be a bit more motivated, more prepared to engage with us, and they're often or sometimes more further along in their decision-making process. So it'll definitely be exciting to see the platform evolve from being more of a lead engager to a true lead generator. At this time, we're seeing prospects continuing their research to where they may have already been in our lead bases from inquiring through other referral sources. However, this really shows that they're continuing their research and fully want to be in the driver's seat. So I think over time, Where You Live Matters will become more of that true generator due to the additional visibility for all of the communities.
Yeah. And can you just briefly, I know we use the term a lot, putting them in the driver's seat. Can you tell our listeners maybe what that means?
Yes. So we always want to make sure that the prospect themselves is in the driver's seat. They are initiating this. They are doing their research while we are there to be that backbone. We're there to be that support. So being able to allow them to form their own process for this while we are just kind of skating right along with them. So.
And for everyone listening, we do have a whole LinkedIn Live episode about that as well. But I do want to get into just how this boosts our visibility and credibility. So, Nicole, I want to ask you, I know you've been really involved with the verification process. Can you just walk us through that? What does it mean to be verified and what does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So appearing on a trusted platform like Where You Live Matters shows that a community is serious about being findable, researchable, and trusted. It sets a baseline of credibility, especially when families are comparing options online. So seeing a verified listing can also be just that first layer of peace of mind, since they're seeing the same information, not only on your community website, but on Where You Live Matters as well. So ultimately it shows that users that your community or communities are legit in the digital world, where not every listing or review can be trusted. And especially again too with the digital age, like Rob said earlier, when people are going out to eat, they're researching and doing all those things prior to just walking through those doors. So overall too, it's like that verification helps with leveling out the playing field, especially for communities that are in smaller markets who really rely on that authenticity. And then also too, like in the real world of paid referral websites, these Where You Live Matter verified listings cut through the noise with direct truth from the information you choose to put on your listing and through your team, since there's no gatekeeping. So you get to be the speaker on the behalf of your community, and no one else does before you get to, which is really great.
So what's the process like? Like what hoops do you have to jump through to get verified?
That is a great question. So all you have to do is go to whereyouLiveMatters.org. Then you will go to the top right corner under Find a Community where it says Providers. You will simply fill out the required fields and then submit after that. And ASHA will then review your request, verify your listing, and send you an email upon verification. And after that, you can easily add all of your communities and are really in control of the information, which is nice because you don't have to be dependent on somebody else to update your photos and your offerings, etc. And as we see this participation increase, Where You Live Matters will really continue to grow to be that effective online resource, delivering more unpaid qualified traffic, and of course, ultimately more leads. Who wouldn't want that? So,
yeah, and obviously that helps build trust with prospects. And so I just want to ask you, like, why is transparency so important today with senior living?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say today's families are more informed, and they're also more skeptical and are doing more independent research than ever before. The more credible resources that are out there, like Where You Live Matters, the more trust that is built. There's also a boost in SEO on both ends, of course, from Where You Live Matters and for your community as well. And it helps reinforce our reputation and as thought leaders in senior living for Where You Live Matters. So it's really, and your community. So it's really a win-win there. In addition to,
Go ahead. I was just going to say, you said SEO, and I know what that means, but can you explain real quickly to our listeners?
Yes, great question. And there's some, I don't know if you can hear that. I think we're good. Okay. So SEO, search engine optimization. So the easiest way to explain this is if you go to search in the Google search bar and you search, let's say, senior living near me, then there'll be things that pop up, of course, in the search, and you might see one that says sponsored. And then after anything under the sponsored, don't have that, of course. And those are all the organic search that comes up to your search to find what you're looking for. And ultimately, the more of the optimization that you do, the more that Google will prioritize it and will push you to the top for more people to find you when they search senior living near me. Great question.
Perfect.
And I was hoping we could go back a little bit to how you actually get verified, because I think, Nicole, it's also helpful for individuals to understand if they're an organization that have multiple communities, what that looks like versus really like a smaller organization that might only have one or two communities, and kind of that element of registering or verifying your communities.
Yeah, another great question. So overall, it's a very easy process. And so after you create that account, you can go into your account area and there's a button that says add a community, and you can add as many as you have and want to, which please add all of your communities and get them verified. So you'll fill out a form of what you want to add, and then they'll approve it, and then it'll show up in your dashboard. So It's really great because you'll have your community, and then there's a ability to edit, publish, and unpublish as well. So if you're in progress and need to get back to it, there's no worry there. It will stay unpublished until you decide to publish it. And then you can edit it whenever you want and save those changes. So it happens immediately. So you can, no matter if you have a smaller set of communities or, 60 communities, you're able to add every single one individually under your account.
Very cool. Thank you, Rob, for asking that question. That helped clear things up for sure.
Yes.
I also want to talk a little bit about relationship building. Like this is huge for relationship building. So, Annie, you're taking the calls from these referrals. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so right now I am kind of fielding things. We are currently in the process of being able to fully integrate Where You Live Matters leads into our CRM system, which is Welcome Home. So, however, right now, as it starts to build, and since the initial launch of us becoming verified almost a year ago now, I am fielding those initial inquiries and directing them to the communities. So it's such an easy process. When they request information on Where You Live Matters, we are getting an immediate email, and then I am able to call them directly, which it's nice because it's the power is in the community's hands at that point. Although I am, supporting and answering their questions, giving them that information, I'm able to then pass it along to the community that they are directly inquiring with.
Awesome. And why is this direct connection so important?
It's so important because it builds trust early. It allows for empathy and a lot of personalization during a time that can be rather emotional for people. It prevents misinformation, which I know we briefly touched on earlier as well, where they are getting the information directly from the community. It's not something that they're seeing through a different referral source where their information may not be as accurate. And again, it keeps the community in control of that relationship.
Yeah. And obviously you're doing a great job because our CEO decided to say that she loves getting those emails right away when you get the leads. So I just have to bring that up.
I'm updating Stephanie as we go. It's a very exciting process.
Yeah, I love it. So what is the impact of eliminating these third-party, the third-party interference? Nicole, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll say it from the business perspective. So being listed in the marketing side, so being listed on Where You Live Matters means you're no longer dependent on third-party sites that may misrepresent or miscategorize your offerings. Yes, of course, we're in close contact with them, but being able to edit it immediately when things change and flow, you're able to do that. And so ultimately, it's going to decrease the dependency on costly third-party aggregators. And then, of course, kind of going back to my first point, is like you have full control of photos, services, point of contact. So what the families are seeing really reflects that real life experience or real experience of living in your communities, which means you can really ensure the consistency from first impression all the way to move in to help move your leads through the funnel the way that you want to from the very beginning.
And it feels like you're kind of cutting out that middleman. So I assume this has improved response rates. Is that accurate to assume?
Yes. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So, and we anticipate a continued improvement in speed to lead as a result of prospects connecting directly with the community rather than being funneled through those third-party referral sources. So this direct connection, it really allows our communities to respond faster and then also just establish that immediate trust because they're reaching out, they're inquiring because they want that information. So the quicker that we get that to them, the trust will be there.
For sure. And Annie, you told me that, on their website, it's not just what we're using it for, like we just talked about, but they do have other resources and tools. Could you explain what some of those might be?
They do. There's so much, honestly. And if you have time to browse the website, we certainly encourage it. There are a lot of educational articles, decision-making tools and checklists, planning and financial guidance, support for family conversations, information about being a caregiver, step-by-step planning guides. I was looking at the website a little bit earlier too, and it's nice because they have videos of resident testimonials as well. So you can watch some videos in real time of residents who have moved to different communities and the impact that it's had on their life as well.
Yeah, when I was looking, I saw like there was even a survey, like take this to find out if it's time to move to senior living. I thought that was really neat. We did have a question, again, Stephanie. So why do you think Where You Live Matters website is more relevant for seniors and their family members? Anyone who wants to jump in?
So I think it's in the name. Where you live does matter. And so especially for seniors who have so much history in life and enjoyment in what they do every day, it matters to them. It also matters to the people that work in a senior living community. It's really about that connection and getting to know each other and becoming family. And I think this is a great example of how you can directly work with someone that's interested in senior living.
Yeah, and I also didn't know this. I saw throw up another Stephanie comment, but I didn't know you could see this too, see if they're accredited on the Joint Commission, which for anyone listening, we also have a LinkedIn Live about that too. But I think that's really neat. So very cool. I did want to ask just a couple final questions to each of you. So Rob, for you, like what's next for this initiative? I know you said it's been in Texas and then there was a pilot in Ohio. For us, like, will it expand?
Yeah, I think it's exciting to see that ASHA has partnered with the Ohio Assisted Living Association to start this pilot. I think it's definitely a large topic of conversation industry-wide, not just in Ohio, not just in Texas. It really is an industry conversation for senior living. People's lives and where they live is very important. And so to have that direct connection, and as we've gone from, days where there was no internet, no Google searches, to almost 100%, that's how you get your information anymore. It really does help us connect with those individuals. And so, where this initiative goes, I really hope that the information and the data that we get from the Ohio pilot in Northeast Ohio is just as strong of data that shows how quickly communities can connect with the people looking for senior living. And I truly do believe that it will be. There's no question that people want information and they want it accurate and they want to just talk directly to the person. And so I think it will show strong data to have that. And then hopefully it'll become something that's just a well-known site for anybody looking for senior living nationwide. So, again, the pilot, we're starting it here mid-July officially. And so it'll be exciting to kind of start seeing where it goes. So it might be another follow-up LinkedIn Live office hours, Rachel, of how things go with the pilot. But looking forward to seeing what we can transform with senior living and connecting with seniors looking for that.
I love it. And you are all invited back anytime to talk about this. I love it. For Annie, for you, so how could this platform change the broader conversation about how people choose senior living?
I think it's really helping transform the senior living search into a more proactive and informed and values-driven approach. Like we mentioned before, it's mission-based, it's nonprofit. So it's a matter of being able to get that information rather than waiting for that crisis, which essentially can force a decision. And it really encourages those families to start exploring options earlier, which ultimately benefits both families and the communities that are connecting with these prospects as well. I think it reframes senior living as a positive and empowering choice, because sometimes it can just be a last resort for people, and we don't necessarily want it to come off that way. We want it to be an experience where they can really feel like they have the necessary information and that relationship with us to make a proactive and an informed decision.
I love that. Very cool. Nicole, for you, I know you already explained to us, but can you just reiterate again, if somebody listening, senior living professional, wants to get started using this platform, where do they go?
Absolutely. Might be helpful maybe if we share a screen. Would you mind sharing your screen, Rachel?
Sure. Let me.
Run through.
This would be a first time on LinkedIn Live. Okay.
Let's see if we can make it happen.
I love it. Okay, let's see how it goes. Okay, can you see my screen?
Oh, yes, I can.
This is what I was looking at. Okay, so Where You Live Matters. Go ahead and talk about it.
All right. So like I mentioned before, you'll search whereyouLiveMatters.org. Then it gets you to this beautiful homepage. You will see up in the top right corner a yellow button that says Find Community, but don't click there. Look under, forgive me. Look for providers right underneath of it, and then you'll go into the middle where it says Create an Account, Login. Once you click there, they listed out instructions on how to create and manage your listing, which is really helpful. So this is where you'll go every time to create an account. After that, you'll log in. So if you scroll down just a little bit more, you'll see that create the account as an operator, and you'll fill out the necessary information. After that, you will click submit. That is when everyone on the back end will review and be like, yes, they could definitely, this group can definitely have a listing here. And then your account will be good to go. You will then get emailed to say, yes, you are in. You will go ahead and log in. After that, you go to the same page. And once you log in, you scroll down, and that's where you say add community. And you can add your communities from there, edit them freely, add anything and everything, and publish. You're good to go.
It seems easy. Just when I was looking at it myself too, I'm like, it's easy for users and easy for people to get on there from the senior living side too. So
yeah, very intuitive.
Very cool. Any final thoughts you all have that you want to share today?
No, I would just my final thought is I would like to thank ASHA for really starting this pilot and this program to combat a challenge that senior living has, and something that we have been discussing. I think it's awesome. I'd also like to thank them for partnering with the Ohio Assisted Living Association and even the Ohio Assisted Living Association's input and assistance with getting connected with the communities and helping them through this process. It's really something exciting to see so many communities coming together across the state to really focus and get to work directly with leads. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Well, I think we did it. Thank you so much for being here with me. Next week, same place, same time, I will be here. So I would love to see you all. But for now, have a great and happy Thursday. See you all next week. Bye.